in the last class, we have seen that momentum theory for vertical climb. Okay, so vertical climb. Before that, we have seen that for hovering condition. Okay, so now today we are going to see about momentum theory for vertical descent. That's considered during landing. Okay, so how the vertical descent has to be done and how much thrust as well as power required for vertical descent. Okay, especially thrust. So how much thrust is required during vertical descent? Okay, so many of you have done with quadcopters, right? So you might have designed your own quadcopter, you might have assembled the quadcopter, and you might have flown the quadcopter. So while taking off, you will be giving maximum thrust, and while descent, you will be having a little bit thrust, right? So that the quadcopter will stable and it will be landing in the ground. Okay. So the same concept will be applicable for our helicopter also. So that the thrust which we are going to produce, right? So that we will be calculating using momentum theory. So the momentum theory, otherwise it will be called as actuator disk theory. So far we have seen for hovering condition as well as vertical climb. Okay, so today we are going to see for vertical descent. So although this vertical descent is not in your particular course, I have just included for a better understanding. Okay, right. So let's get into the session. So I have taken with reference to basic helicopter aerodynamics. It will always goes to John Sennen and Will publication. So three images I have shown in this particular slide. So I hope you can identify the first two, right? So the first one is related with velocity during hovering condition, right? So I have given the comparison what happened during hovering and what is happening during climb and what is happening during descent. Okay. So the first one is hovering condition where we have seen that velocity in the beginning, right? So velocity. One second. So where velocity is equal to 0. Okay. So at the section 1. So this is section 2, section 3. Okay. So at section 2, it is induced velocity over the blade, right? So the otherwise they will be calling that called inflow. In some articles they will be using the word inflow. Some books and some research papers they will be using the word induced. Okay, so don't get confused, both are same, inflow and induced. Okay, so at the exit we are having the third session, that is V2. This is for hovering condition. Okay, so which we have calculated thrust and power also, right? So in the yesterday class we have seen climb. So the thrust will be acting upward, same as like hovering condition, right? But the velocity of the flow in the first section will be taken as Vc, and velocity of flow at second section is taken as Vc plus Vi, and third exit is taken as Vc plus Vp. Okay, so the descent and climb will be just opposite to each other. Okay, so if you see that from up to down, right, the flow is there from up to down, so that the helicopter will move up, right? So if the flow is from up to down, right, so the helicopter will move up by producing a positive thrust. Okay, but in the descent phase, right? So descent phase means the helicopter is going to come down, right? That is the descent phase, right? So when the helicopter is trying to come down, so what will happen at that rotor stream tube condition, right? The conditions which you are taking, boundary conditions, right? So that is with respect to the flow will be from downward to up. Okay, so whereas in the climb we can see the direction of flow is up to down, whereas in the descent phase we can see the flow will be from down to up, right? So I hope you can understand why the flow is like that, because when we are climbing that we are utilizing the air upper the rotor surface. When we are descending that is we are trying to land lower flow, right? Lower air will be taken consideration. Okay, so just imagine if the rotor system is rotating and the helicopter is trying to land. Okay, so the flow will be taken from here, so that blades will be tilted accordingly. So the blades will be tilted according to the pitch of the blade will be changed. Where we have seen that using collective pitch control, right? So when we are moving the collective pitch control upward, the helicopter will climb. When we are changing that collective pitch control to, if we are lowering the collective pitch control, then the helicopter will start to descend. Okay. So during descent phase, the uh, lower surface, right? The air at the lower surface will be taken as the inflow. Okay, so the lower surface, from that lower surface, so here the section will be 1, 2, and this is our exit. Can you understand that? Right? So that is the difference between climb and descent phase. Okay, so in descent from up, we are taking it as 1 and 2, and this is 3. Okay, so whereas here the inflow is from here, that's the inlet, consider that as inlet. So the induced flow at the blade 2, and this is our exit 3. Okay, so VD indicate the descent velocity, whereas VC indicates the climb velocity. Okay, so when it is getting induced with the rotor, right? So here we are having the negative term VD minus VI, whereas here we will be adding that, right? The climb velocity we will be adding over here. Here we are using the negative sign. I will explain why we are using negative sign so that you can easily understand what is happening with that. So the same will be applicable at the third section also. Third section also. So exit section. So VB minus V2. Okay. So here V2 is the exit velocity, right? So it will be added with climb, whereas here it is subtracted with respect to the velocity. Okay, right. So this is the velocity variation for over and climb and descent. I hope you understood that. If you are having any doubt, we can discuss at the end of the session. So this is the pressure variation. So in the left hand side, you can see pressure variation of for climb. Okay, for climb you can see, because why I am saying this is climb, because of this P infinity. Okay, P infinity is there, so we are taking it as climb. Okay, so if you see here over here in the stream tube, right? That is descent. This is descent. This is climb. So the left hand side I have given with respect to climb, and the right hand side it is with respect to descent. Okay. So the pressure. Sorry, actually this is not climb. So the direction is from down to up only. So this is also descent only, and I'm extremely sorry for that mistake. So I thought I have just compared the image between climb and descent. So this is also descent only because the flow is acting upward. Okay, so you can see the arrow, right? So the flow is acting upward. So this is descent only, okay, not climb. Okay, sorry for the confusion which I went through. Okay. So what is the necessity of having pressure at P infinity, that is outlet, and this is our inlet also, right? So inlet, outlet, and difference between the rotor delta P. Okay. So correspondingly, the area is taken as A1, A2, and A. Okay. So it will be looking like similar, but the thrust is also acting upward, right? So whether that is correct or not. So I will be starting with the poll. We just try to answer the poll during descent. Thrust will be acting. So during descent, thrust will be acting upward or downward. Kindly answer the poll. During descent, the thrust will be acting upward or downward. So you can take the concept of quadcopters itself, right? I hope many of you have done quadcopter, so you can use that concept of quadcopter itself, whether the thrust will be acting upward or downward. So kindly answer to the poll. So most of the people has given that it is acting upward, right? And very few has given it is acting downward. So those who have given with the first answer, that is perfectly correct, because even though when we are descending, right? So when we are trying to land, we have to withstand the weight of the helicopter, entire weight of the helicopter. So for that, at least we need to generate a thrust, but the thrust is not greater than the weight. Okay, so but to withstand that, we will be giving an amount of thrust so that we can maintain the stability and we can land safely. Okay, so that is the main agenda of this question. So during descent, the thrust will be acting upward only. So we will be generating a thrust in order to make the helicopter stable and to land perfectly. Okay, so that's why the thrust is acting upward, but the thrust value is little bit less. Okay, compared to mostly with respect to hover and climb. Okay, so we can see over here, right? So the term we have used here, right, for velocity variation. So Vd and Vd minus Va. So why we are using the negative sign? So as I told that we need to generate particular thrust, right? So in order to provide that thrust, even though we are decreasing the collective pitch, right? We are decreasing the lowering the collective pitch so that our pitch angle will be also changing, right? If the pilot is lowering his collective pitch control, which is nearby his seat, right? So when he is lowering, the helicopter will come down, right? Due to the rotor pitch angle change. Okay. So, but at that time also we need to maintain the thrust generation, even though we are reducing that lever, but our throttle control, right? Our throttle control has to maintain particular rotational speed so that we can maintain the stability of the helicopter. Okay, so that's why here in order to add that induced flow, we are minus, that is negative, subtracting the induced flow. Okay, so we are subtracting the induced flow because we need to generate some thrust also. Okay, so if you are adding then think about the flow, and here the velocity will be higher. Usually when we are coming down, the velocity will have to be higher at the descent. So when it is coming over here, it has to decrease. That's why the stream tube condition, right? So the pitch change, when the blade pitch is changed, so here the velocity will be higher, right? So when it is coming to the blade, the work efficiency of the rotor will be higher than to take out. Okay, so so that the velocity will be decreased when we are comparing this section 2 and 1, right? So the velocity will be in the section 1 will be higher always. Section 2 it will be reduced. So at the third point it will be more reduced. Okay. So that's why the negative sign is using, and we are subtracting that by adding the velocity component. Okay, right. So taking consideration into momentum change as well as the rotor thrust force, the continuity equation will be taken into the consideration, and the mass flow rate currently will be given with respect to rho A, Vd, V2, right? So that is taken here, Vd, V2, so is equal to rho into A, Vd, V1, and area, that is this is area 2 is taken, so rho A2 into V. Okay, rho A2 V. So area image I have given over here. So A1 is taken with respect to the outlet, A is taken with respect to the rotor, and A2 is taken with respect to the bottom. That is in this descent condition. Okay. So try to understand the difference between the helicopter's descent and takeoff. That is climb. Okay. So during climb, the pilot will be rising the collective lever control, collective pitch control, so that the pitch will be positive, right? And pitch angle of the helicopter will be positive for helicopter blades, so the helicopter can lift off from the ground. So during descent, he will be lowering the collective control, so the pitch angle will go to negative, right? So then it will start to descend. But at that time also we need to provide thrust. Okay, so the rotational speed has to be maintained. So equating all those parameters, and thrust is given with two terms like mass flow rate into velocity. So mass flow rate of this rotor is taken, the efficiency where the thrust force is going to act. Right? So rho A Vd minus Vi it is taken with respect to that, multiplied by velocity is the outlet velocity. Okay, so V2. So outlet velocity, that is V. Okay, so thrust is given. In other terms, we can calculate the thrust with respect to delta P, that is pressure will be given by force by area, right? So here our force is thrust. So delta P is equal to thrust by area, right? So if I'm cross multiplying that, so area will be coming thrust is equal to delta P. So instead of having delta P, they have subtracted the pressure of the lower minus pressure of the upper surface. Okay. So pressure of the lower, pressure of the upper surface. Okay. So that's what they have taken the two thrust equation, how it has to be done. So in the next slide, we will be seeing that Bernoulli's equation. So this procedure is same. For hovering condition also, we have followed that. Initially, we will be considering the mass flow rate, right? Equal mass flow rate with all those three sections depending upon the area. So the mass flow rate will be equal, and then we have calculated with the thrust, mass flow rate into velocity, and also the third step will be pressure difference, right? So pressure will be given with respect to force by area. So here our force is thrust. So that's why delta P is equal to given by thrust by area. Okay. So the steps which we have followed for also, the step we have followed for climb also, it will be similar for momentum theory. Okay. So that's why it is. I'm repeating that momentum theory is just for understanding. Okay, so this is not the final theory to calculate with accurate value of thrust. This is for to calculate thrust approximately. So even you can apply this for your quadcopter also. Okay, so how much area it is there, how much density the particular atmosphere is there, right? So yesterday one guy has also asked whether the density will be changing or not, right? So let's say if the helicopter is flying from altitude of sea level and it is going 1 kilometer. Let's consider that 1 kilometer it is just climbing, right? The helicopter is taking up and it is climbing in this vertical climb. Okay. So for 1 kilometer we can approximately say the density will be same. But if we are using that to climb more, then we need to generate more what's that rotational speed, right? The efficiency of the rotor has to be higher. Okay, so depending upon the altitude variation, the density will be also vary. But for our problem, we are taking that density as constant. Okay, so most probably we are not going to climb for 1 kilometer and all in the straight do vertical climb or during vertical descent. Okay, so there is a limit also is there. Okay. So next one is Bernoulli's equation. So the step we are following is first one is continuity, then we will be taking with the Bernoulli's equation. So basic Bernoulli's equation. So here we are having section 1, 2, 3. So above the rotor, is here, below the rotor is right. So P infinity half rho Vd minus V2 square is equal to pressure up. This is pressure up, this is pressure lower. Okay. So pressure U plus half rho Vd I square. Okay. So at the lower rotor, it is taken with PL plus half rho Vd minus VL the whole square is equal to P infinity where descent velocity is Vd. Okay. So half rho Vd. Okay. So subtracting each other, subtracting both the equation or substituting the both equation, it depends upon how you want to calculate. We can finally identify the delta P. So delta P is nothing but PL minus PU, that is delta P. Okay. So substitute this delta P in the previous thrust equation. So here we can substitute, and always thrust is equal to mass flow rate also. So we can equate that also, right? So once if we are equating this equation, let's say this is as first equation, second equation, and from Bernoulli's theorem, we are taking this as third equation. Okay. So equating all those equations, we will be getting the same value of velocity, that is v2 is equal to 2v1. Okay. So the velocity variation for hovering condition, for climb, for descent. So the outlet exit velocity has to maintain with respect to v2 is equal to 2v1. Okay. So the exit velocity in the descent phases over here, right? So here it has to maintain 2 times the velocity induced in the rotor blade. So by this we can maintain the stability of the helicopter during descent. Okay. So the corresponding thrust, how much the thrust has to produce by pilot if you are substituting V2, right? If you are substituting that V2 in the mass flow rate equation, then it will be showing that 2 rho A Vd minus VL into VA. Okay. So the pilot can easily understand that, okay, this much velocity we have to, with this much thrust we have to produce to maintain the stability and to descend properly. Okay. So thrust during the descent is calculated. So apart from that, if you want to identify the pressure difference, right? So far we have not calculated the pressure difference, but using the Bernoulli's equation itself, we can calculate the pressure difference also. So apart from that, there is a term called velocity triangle. So here we are not going to see much about this velocity triangle. So most probably you might have studied in your aerodynamics itself. So because velocity triangle, otherwise we will be explaining in blade element areas about what is velocity triangle. So here we are having the total velocity V is considered as Vd minus Vi. Okay. So Vd minus Vi plus Vi tan h of, this is one type of factor which we will be using to reduce the effect of Vi. Okay. So why we have to reduce the effect of Vi? Because as I told before, we need to provide some thrust so that the helicopter can steadily descend. If you are not producing that thrust, the helicopter cannot descend properly. Okay. So in order to provide that thrust, right? So even though if you are having negative pitch, if you want to descend, you have to switch to negative pitch angle, right? Because the pilot has to lower the collective pitch control. When he is lowering the collective pitch control, the helicopter will start to descend. Okay, so that's why I have explained the control surfaces. So when he is lowering the collective control surface, the helicopter will descend. But in order to get that rotational speed, right, to maintain the rotational speed and to provide the thrust, the pilot will be controlling with the throttle, right? So I hope you remember that I have shown you a tabular column, right? If RPM is low, if pitch angle is low, if the helicopter inlet pressure is low, right? So those factors I hope you remember. So if you are not remember, you just to the previous lecture so that you can easily understand. So for that only we are including this factor. So much more about this velocity triangle we will be seeing in blade element theory, as well as you might have studied about this velocity triangle in your aerodynamics also. So the pressure is considered with respect to Bernoulli's equation itself, and from here the coefficient of pressure, right? So the coefficient of pressure term in the upper layer and what lower layer. Okay. So during the descent, how the coefficient of pressure is going to act, that is Cpu and Cpl. Okay. So how it has been done? So when we are speaking about pressure factor, right? So this is the final equation which we have derived, right? P minus P infinity divided by rho. So from Bernoulli's equation, we have calculated. So Vp square minus V square by 2, right? So if I am dividing this equation by half U square, right? I am just multiplying by half U square in the denominator. Okay. So half u square in the denominator, so it will be half u square and half u square. Okay, so half and half get cancelled. So this term I can totally call this a coefficient of pressure because the difference delta P is half. So this is dynamic pressure, right? So our entire term can be given as coefficient of pressure. Upper layer we can use the term U. For lower layer we can use the term A. Okay. So half this 2 and 2 will be get cancelled and U square will be. Okay. So if you see that next slide. So that's what it has been done. Coefficient of pressure, right? Non-dimensionalization. So to non-dimensionalize that equation, so upper layer is given with respect to divided by u square and lower is given with respect to u square minus u square divided by u square. Okay. So both are taken from Bernoulli's equation only. So whereas E indicates based on the velocity triangle, B is given as a difference between Vd minus Vm. So whereas this entire term will be considered as equal to 0, that is tends to 0, approximately tends to 0. Okay. So that's why in this book also they might have not explained much more about this. So just this will be tends to 0. So the difference is V is equal to Vd minus Va is considered as V overall. Right. So there are some graphical representation from this equations which we have solved before. So this zero position is called as a rotor position, right? So where the negative sign indicates that lower part of the rotor. So where the positive indicates the upper part of the rotor. Okay. So the velocity is given in the x direction. So let's consider a descent velocity of 30 meter per second, induced velocity in the rotor that is 10 meter per second, and a rotor radius of 10 meter. Okay. So this consideration we are taking as so that we can understand how the rotor is behaving and how the velocity factor is behaving. Okay, right. So steam tube size and pressure variation is taken into the consideration. So this is above the rotor and below the rotor. So based on the descent factor, right? So based on the descent criteria, the velocity below the rotor, right? So let's get back to the image once. So velocity below the rotor, right? So that will be large, that is nearly 30 meter per second, right? At the below rotor, okay, at the initial stage. So when it is coming to the rotor system, right? So it is keep on reducing. So when it is coming to the rotor, it is nearly half of the BD. Okay. So when it is coming to the rotor section, right? So the velocity is nearly reduced to half amount, right? So initially it is 30. So when it is coming to the zero position, it is 20 meter per second. Okay? Approximately 1. Okay? So when it is coming to the utmost exit, then the velocity much more reduced, that is 10 meter per second. Okay, so 10 meter per second, right? So that's what the graphical representation is also indicating. These are the experimental data which were taken with respect to the primary data like velocity, descent velocity is 30 meter per second, induced velocity is 10 meter per second, and rotor radius is 10 meter per second, 10 meter. So apart from that, steam tube radius. So for consideration, how much radius we want to keep for steam tube. So with the same criteria, that is velocity descent at 10 and R10, right? So at the below section of the rotor, right? So it has the steam tube radius has to be 5 meter, but whereas at the exit it has to be 14. Throughout that, it will be increasing, where we have seen in the image also, right? So you can see that the stream is increasing, stream 2. It is increasing. Okay. So the stream tube calculation has been also done. So the pressure coefficient, pressure difference. So this is a Cp above, right? Pressure, the upper line indicates the Cp upper of the lower, whereas the lower line indicates Cp lower. Okay. So the difference between the upper layer and the lower, that is taken as delta P. Okay, so difference between the coefficient, that is delta P. So the variation is also at the fifth position, the delta P will be higher, okay, whereas it will be changing, right? So at the rotor, right? So at the rotor, it will be changing from nearly tends to 0. Okay, so nearly tends to 0. So here, the upper surface, it is increasing. Okay, the coefficient of pressure will be increasing, whereas in the lower surface, it will be also increasing when we are speaking about negative, right? So but at the exit, it will be 0. Okay, at the lower surface. Okay, so because there is no calculation, because the main calculation is up to rotor surface, where the rotor is there. From lower to rotor, this is start with from rotor to upper surface. Right. So this is just a comparison how the thrust has been done with the hovering. V naught indicates that induced velocity at the hover. So here we are including a negative sign in order to show that it is a descent. Okay, in order to avoid the confusion between hovering condition and climb. So that's why we are just giving the negative sign in order to understand that the helicopter is descending downwards. Okay. So some of the factors are VC is during climb, velocity climb divided by induced velocity during hover. This is velocity descent, induced velocity during hover. So this is induced velocity. This is also correspondingly towards the hovering condition. So what we can say non-dimensionalized. Okay. So we see bar wherever the bar is indicated, that is non-dimensionalized now. Okay. So this is that today for session momentum theory for hovering condition. So now I will explain about how the homework has to be done. Sorry, assignment and homework both has to be done. So let me start the sharing.